Hold on to your hats, everybody. Is Adam about to make an apology, a public apology to Anthony Martial? The news has just broke before I've gone live, and I want to get into what the representatives of Anthony Martial have just come out and said. Have we all been a little bit harsh on Martial? Are the lies coming out of the media about Martial and what's happened at Manchester United? His relationship with Erik ten Hag, is it on the ropes? Well, we're about to get into it, and you decide yourselves alongside with me if I should be apologising about Anthony Martial. We'll get into that. Also, I want to talk about Manchester United, how we make money, how Sir Jim Ratcliffe works in terms of making big purchases in this summer transfer window. Obviously, we're talking to Jamie Jackson from The Guardian, talking about United's financials and what is going on at the football club and how we spend being so close to the threshold of financial fair play and PSR. Are we going to be able to do it? Well, there is a way, and it's been reported in the MEM, and this is how Sir Jim Ratcliffe is going to get around financial fair play. We'll get into that, but first of all, it's Anthony Martial time. Again, this is Forever United TV, everybody. I'm Adam, welcome to the show. This is live, so if you are watching later on, when the video is up on YouTube, make sure you get your comments in below. Give the video a like if you're loving the content, and obviously, if you want your forward, straight talking Manchester United news like this, with no bull and no fluff, then make sure you hit that subscribe button, everybody. I'm just going to tell you straight, we're going to get into the detail live on this one, but get your comments in. That is what is more important than anything right now. I want to know what you guys think as well as me, but I have obviously had a little bit of an issue with Anthony Martial for, let's just say, many a years right now, and I did have a whole show prepped to talk about other stuff. We are going to get into that as well, but obviously the news has just broke, and representatives of Anthony Martial have come out and made a statement. So obviously the news has been circulating that he has been isolated. I did a short video on that this morning, actually, talking about why Martial has been isolated. Is it Erik ten Hag again? Has the hard hand of Erik ten Hag struck again? First it was Jadon Sancho, now it's Anthony Martial. He has been moved away from the first team squad to try and find his fitness or work on his fitness. Where did that statement come from? And now, why have Martial's representatives? Further past that, where the hell has Manchester United been in letting everybody know, that's not, most importantly, the bleeding fans who have been criticising Martial for not being anywhere? All Erik ten Hag has said is Martial is ill. So, where have Manchester United in actually telling us what the hell is going on right now? I mean, come on, seriously. Talk about an organised club. Please. Anyway, what has been said? Let's get into the statement right now. So, Philip Lombardi, Anthony Martial's representatives, has said that Martial has a hip issue that requires surgery. What he said about him is completely false, that being all of the news about him being isolated and training on his own for no reason to find his fitness. He was not excluded from the group, and he has no problem with Erik ten Hag. Anthony has been in Manchester for 9 seasons, and if he was not a great professional, then he would not have been at the club for so long. He is simply going to undergo a small operation on his abductors, which he should have had done for a while, and which did not allow him to be 100%. So he will do it now. Now, straight away, there are so many red flags in that statement alone. Let's break down the statement, shall we? And let's see if we can decide amongst ourselves if we're feeling sorry for Martial. Are we blaming the club? Has Erik ten Hag got anything to say in this? Get your comments in, let me know what you think. So let's break down this statement. First of all, he has got an issue with his hip. No problem with that. Everyone gets injuries. Martial gets loads of injuries. He's the worst in the club for it. He's a bit of a demic. We know he hasn't finished 90 minutes in bleeding 4 years, so there's no real surprise there. Let's get down into the next line. What's been said about him is completely false. He was not excluded from the group, and he is no problem with Erik ten Hag. First red flag for me, straight away. No problem with ten Hag. Well, in ten Hag's last press conference, I think you remember the quote from Erik, which said, Anthony Martial is not fit. He needs to make himself fit, show us that he wants to be fit to play as well. So where has the news come from regarding this injury? Because if you read further down into this, I'll skip the next line and go to more of the injury-based comment in this paragraph and this statement. He's simply going to undergo a small operation on his abductors, which he should have had done for a while. In translation, he should have had this done a while ago. How the hell and Manchester United not picking up on this? And how the hell is there not a problem with Erik ten Hag going, oh, he's coming out and saying, is Anthony Martial is ill? Seriously? No, this statement does not make any sense, and it is a complete contradiction from player and representatives to the football club, i.e. in translation for me, and when you work it all out, says to me, this is Anthony Martial having a shot back at Manchester United for everything that's come out and what Ten Hag has said in the press conference. There is no other way to look at this, that there is a big issue between Martial and Erik ten Hag. The statement is factual and bullshit at the same time, broken down for me. It really is. I'm not just getting irate and making a big song and dance about this because it's Martial. I'm taking the player out of this completely. I'm just looking at the situation and what Manchester United have got themselves in as the big issue in all of this here. And the way I look at it, like I just said then, sorry, I've just completely gone off my screen, my mistake. The way I'm looking at it here and the way I've broken it down is, you can look at this and go, Martial's endemic, but we already knew that. There's nothing more to add to it. I'm not going to throw any more fuel on the fire in terms of Martial and his injury record. We just know it's bad and he's gone at the end of this season. The problem that we've got here is not Martial. It isn't. It's Manchester United. This is the big problem with this statement for me. Like I said, we expect Martial. He's not fit. He's training on his fitness. He's working on his fitness, the club said. How the hell are the club saying he's working on his fitness and he's been sick or poorly when his agent has just come out and said he should have had this injury sorted out months ago? That is a direct jab at Manchester United. You don't come out with statements like that in public unless you've got a big issue. They're basically countering what the club has said in he isn't fit and needs to train on his own and he's just been ill. They're coming straight back with that, saying he's been playing with an injury for God knows how long. It doesn't state in that opening statement. There may be more to it. I've not had a chance to read through more yet. But the main one is that Martial has been carrying another Martial injury for a long, long period of time. And Manchester United have just covered it up by saying that he is ill. This is what Manchester United are right now. This is our football club, everybody. It is an absolute joke when it comes to things like this. Why would you even try covering this up? You know he's an issue. Why don't you just come out and say, look, we've decided to not trigger Anthony Martial's one-year contract. No, that's all right. And let's be honest, no one was going to come in for him as soon as he took a medical. Because if it is true what his representatives are saying, then you look at it and you go, well, there's not a cat and else chance you're even going to get a deal in Saudi if you play or can't even pass a medical right now. So why is Erik ten Hag covering this up? Why have the club not clarified anything that's wrong with one of our players? And this all coming off the back of Manchester United are keeping Martial to the end of the window, and someone from Martial's camp also coming out at the time and saying he's going to play out the rest of his season, commit to Manchester United for the rest of this season. Well, you're not committing much when you're already going under the ninth. And no matter how much you say it's a minor operation, it does not matter with Martial. He's still got to try and get back to full fitness. And let's be honest, that's going to take him, what, possibly another month? Then you're already at the back end of February. You're into March. How many games have we got left? What is that commitment from Martial from now until the end of the season? He's not played for 6 weeks. And now he's going to be missing for what? Another month? There is another 3-month spell near enough of Martial on the sidelines. Covered up by Manchester United. Absolute farce is what we are right now. God, I mean, as soon as Sir Jim Ratcliffe takes control of this football club, this shit needs to stop. It really does. It's pathetic. You've got one agent coming out of a player here which has taken us for a ride money-wise for so many years. And we just look like complete clowns right now as a football club. We are just an absolute joke. Again, this is all over Sky Sports News. This is where this has come from. So this is breaking from the top. And Manchester United, I've got no idea what's going on. They had no idea that Anthony Martial's agent was going to come out and say this. And now we just look like absolute bums. It really is. Just pay the bum off and be done with it, says Alien 10 with a super chat. Cheers for that, mates. Make sure you give the video a like, guys, if you're loving the video and all the content. And obviously do subscribe if you are watching for the first time. Oh my giddy! I mean, seriously, that is just a shit. That is just an absolute joke right now. Let's get into some of your comments on this one before we move on to the next subject. But this, I mean, I'm going to double check anyway in a minute to see if there's anything else come out on top of this. But this is laughable, isn't it? It really is laughable. So we get to rely on one striker for the rest of the season. That's going to end well, isn't it? Says Leo. Rory C. Going for surgery now. So is he fit in the summer to get a new club with Juicy signing on fee? He probably will be perfectly fit for the summer, Rory. It's a good point to make with that one. Going to the knife now. Rest of the season done. Come back absolutely minted, fully fit and raring to go. Big signing on fee. Free transfer. Adam, who's abducted him? Graham, it's not a funny joke, mate. You need to do better than that. You need to do better than that. You really do. Come on. How many times has he declared himself unfit? Scott, I've lost count. I really have. I really have. Wait, abductors? Yes, abductors. What else have we got in here? Let me just check through some more. Anthony Wisdom. If you read between the lines, it's enabling Martial to stay at the club until the summer. Yes, it is. It really is. It just stops him moving on right now, doesn't it? That's the problem. Oh, we've got Giddy Chops is back. Zayn Miase, welcome to the chat, Zayn. Thank you for the super chat, my man. Real selling Vinicius to fund Mbappe. United could buy Vinicius. No. Arsenal are getting T Benzema. Who's T Benzema, Zayn? Is he a new player? Benzema and Tony in the summer. Why would you want Benzema in the summer, by the way? I mean, obviously you've got a typo there. I don't know who T Benzema is, Zayn, but I'm guessing you mean actual Benzema from formerly of Real Madrid in that. No, why would you want Benzema and Tony? You're getting Tony in the summer, mate. Your chances of winning the title have gone with this season. You blew it. Everyone is going to start surpassing you right now. You've hit financial fair play. Mate, you'd be lucky to stay in the Champions League places right now the way that you're going. You need to score goals, mate, and you need strikers now, Zayn. That's about as far as my banter can go because United are crap. So, cheers for the super, mate. Kaz says, Eric Ten Hag. Eric is not cleansing anything right now. Eric Ten Hag clearly isn't falling for this bad hip, though. That's a good point again, really. How much of this is completely made up? I mean, when someone needs surgery, you have to believe it. There's no way in hiding that, is there? Surely. In the professional game, you cannot hide an injury that needs surgery, surely. Surely even Martial, a magician of injuries, cannot conjure that one up. Come on, please don't tell me that is going to happen. Tony Bond, he will earn between 5 million and 6 million by June. Give him 3.5 million now and use the save 1.5 million on a lone striker. He's playing FIFA again, Tony. I love your thought, mate. I do. I love that process. Anything to get him out is what people are saying, really. Matt says, amazing how quickly people jumped into attack Eric Ten Hag after he basically called out Martial for his fitness, and now the truth is coming out, and Eric Ten Hag is right again. Eric Ten Hag has on that hard hand. I mean, there's been plenty of players, I feel, that the situation under Ten Hag looks drastic, but all he's doing is what any manager with a backbone should be doing, and these players just don't like it. Their playground has been taken over by the elder kids, and all of them now are spitting the dummies out because they've got real men there who actually have got standards and want to take the club forward. Ten Hag has got issues, he has, but his mentality and his standards of how players need to be at Manchester United, that culture, I think he's got right. He has. There's a lot that he needs to learn and do, but a lot of what he has done has been right off the pitch. And I think he's dealt with these so-called fairies, these prima donnas. He's dealt with them well. Martial has been a big issue for every single manager that he's had, excluding Van Gaal, who brought him in, because he was Van Gaal's man. He was the baby, basically, wasn't he? He was what everything was going to be built around, and the club made a mistake, and we might not have seen this type of Martial But what you can bring into consideration, yes, the club was wrong to get rid of Louis van Gaal, and Martial pretty much went downhill from there. But if you're a professional footballer and the manager that you loved before has been fired, and you cannot handle that as a professional footballer, you don't belong in the game. You don't belong in the game. It's soft and it's a weak mentality for me. You deal with the cards that are dealt. You've on mega bucks, and the next manager that came along didn't think anything of you. Yeah, you may have thought hard done to, but again, the common denominator of failing is the players that are still at the football club, not the managers really. The managers wanted more, the managers didn't get more, and they definitely didn't get more from the likes of Martial. And now we're finding out, and the only way Manchester United have been able to rid themselves of a problem, which is Martial, is by letting him go for free at the end of his contract. He's run it down, and he's not even going to give us anything in the last 6 months of it, because he's decided now with his representatives, when United have got no money and in desperate need of a striker, to go under the knife. Why didn't you come out and say this at the start of the season? So that opens up another can of worms as to saying, well, if this was a so-called problem so long ago, how come you haven't made this statement now? And why are you going behind the back of the football club to make this statement? There you go. That's my summary on that one. And do I need to apologise to Anthony Martial? Not really. This issue isn't his. My issue with Martial is what's come before and why we've all got this opinion of him. It's that not willing to put in the extra effort. And when he's been on the pitch, let's be honest, he hasn't offered us much else. 19 appearances this season. Not completing 90 minutes once again for the 4th season in a row. 2 goals. Not enough. And we can't even get that out of him for the last part of this season. 2 goals from now until the end of the season might have been important, but we can't even get that out of him. Keep liking the video, guys. We're almost at the 100 mark. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. We did sort of swerve away from the original content and the show that we had going on for tonight with this news of Martial. In fact, just before we do move on, I need to double check that there is no other news regarding Martial. Let's just get into it now. Make sure. Flicking through. Yeah, more reports of it. Oh, yeah, and there's another report about Manchester United wanting to ramp up the use of AI. Lovely. Lovely. If everyone can like and share the video also as well, guys. Sharing is caring. Let's get more people involved in this chat. I'm going to get into a few more of your messages now. Not totally true, Matt. He was ready to play most of the season, but Erik ten Hag was getting... I don't know what he's going on about there, sorry. Van Gaal said he got Martial for Ryan Giggs, and none of them will be here in the summer. The same treatment should be for players like Luke Shaw. Yeah, I mean... I think Luke Shaw's managed to finish a few more 90 minutes than Martial. Martial's an extreme. He really is an extreme. Let me just see. Working but listening. Hi everyone, says Guess. Hello Guess, hope you're doing well. What's the news on Martial? Shite, says Boz. His agent has come out now saying that he hasn't been isolated from the rest of the training squad. There is no issue with Erik ten Hag, but he needs surgery because of an abductor issue, and he is now going to be out of action. I don't know for how long, but he's been carrying this injury for a long time, his agent has said. All this, well, ten Hag has been covering it up, saying that Martial is ill. Wow. Madred 2 member there in Mark LFC UK. Thank you so much, mate, for renewing. Please like, share the stream, subscribe to the channel. Also, how to solve a problem like Martial. Offer him to Newcastle for free. Yeah, offer him anywhere to free to get him out. Literally, go and find somewhere that is going to pay you anywhere near half as much as what you have been on at Manchester United. I bet you come up short, Tony. I think the real world is about to hit Anthony Martial. He got a taste of it when he went to Seville. And you know what? I was actually at Seville when United got smashed by them in the Europa League second leg last season. I was in the mix zone. Martial spent more time in the Seville dressing room, the winning dressing room, than he did in the home dressing room. I seen him walk through. He went, because remember, he trudged off in that game as well. Moped off because he'd offered absolutely nothing. And went to the Seville dressing room. Stayed in there. Like, players that got changed from the United team were already on the bus before Martial had even come back out. So that's how much that man cares. You've just been knocked out of a European competition, and you go and spend all your time after the game in the home dressing room. The team that's just beat your team, of whose affiliation you've got is just a simple failed loan spell from the season before. That's Martial for you. That's why I don't like him, and that's why he went completely down, well, sunk in my estimation last season with his antics. It really did go to a whole new level for Martial, but yes. Most of the players don't play for the badge. That is true. Let me just check now what else we got. Huggy Boy says, with the wages we have saved from De Gea and Sancho, could we not just pay off Martial to help with financial fair play? Well, the period of financial fair play really kicks into gear come June, so we could save ourselves a few months' wages with Martial. It would help a little bit, but you're still stuck in that same old position where we're going to need to bring someone in who is going to help the team right now. Bringing in someone like a makeshift forward, I mean, what is the point, really? Unless you're bringing in that quick fire, quick fix type of striker like a Benzema, then there's no point in bringing anyone else. I don't know who Manchester United will go for as a lone striker, if any, this window. I really don't. I don't know where we're going to go with it. But honestly, it's an awkward situation. And I think Manchester United have to try and be a bit, I don't know, maybe clever with it. I still don't know who we will get that's going to be better than Højlund. Obviously, you need cover, but I do think he'll just play Rashford there. Even if we had an extra striker in who isn't that good and coming on loan, Rashford's still going to play there ahead of him. So I just don't see the point right now, honestly. And I don't think Manchester United will, in the end, go out and get this extra forward. I really don't. Matt Thrower, I don't see where we go as a team though. We have to pray Casemiro and Martinez are enough to improve us and Højlund stays fit. Yep, sadly, that pretty much, Matt, is the honest truth in it. That is it. Rooney's available, says Boz. I agree, sell Antony. Benzema's so expensive. Yeah, we won't be able to afford his wages and it just does not work. Benzema ain't coming to babysit Højlund. I don't see that's happening. No, Ian, I pretty much poo-pooed that one already. I don't think it is going to happen. It really isn't. See, 2 million per week right now, even if they cover half, 1 million per week. I don't know who that is, Sean, but Christine says, correct, Adam, but other players are worse, arrogant divas who disrespect the fans but think they are untouchable. Blame the club for this. Even fans of this man are seeing his true colours. Yep. Marcus Rashford, I would say. Pretty much summed that up. Let's get up to the 150 mark on the likes. We're going to switch the show up a little bit now and go to what we was going to talk about, which is a story that came out in the MEN this morning regarding how Manchester United can fund a overhaul in the summer. Now, we know Sir Jim Ratcliffe is going to be putting money into Manchester United. That will help with financial fair play, obviously, but we still need to be a little bit, we need to be savvy with the sales department. Now, you look at the players that Manchester United can offload in the summer. We've already talked about Wan-Bissaka, Victor Lindelof. There isn't much money there, is there? There isn't much money there. Now, if Jadon Sancho hits it off in Germany, then you could be looking, 40 million there for Jadon Sancho. Is that where we need to go? But the big question is do we actually cash in on Mason Greenwood? That's the big one. Mason Greenwood is, we've done absolutely tons of videos on him. And I've always said I think Mason Greenwood will come back to Manchester United. I think he will come back and be that extra forward that we do need. We could actually do with a quality player like that right now, to be honest, and I think we might actually climb that table. But the way that Manchester United are planning the summer with the targets that we've got, obviously we talked about the centre-backs, we've talked about who we could possibly bring in midfield. If we end up selling Mason Greenwood and Jadon Sancho, then what are them players worth? Let me know. I mean, if I said to you, alright, I'm going to read out the names right now. Actually, I'm going to put it in a poll, and these are the players that we're actually thinking of right now that are definitely an option for selling. So we know that Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka are definitely on the list to go. Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka. Sancho. Let's just say Greenwood is definitely a possibility. And the other one we had on there was Maguire. If we were getting real clever with it, I don't actually, you know what, I'm taking Maguire off. I'm just going to go with them four because I feel like them four are definite options for Manchester United to sell in the summer. How much money would we raise selling them players? This is what I want to know from you guys. So I'm going to start it off. I'm going to give you a few options. And then you tell me where you think. I think this is being realistic. I do. And then I'm interested to see on the last option if you guys actually go for it. So the poll is up now. Let me know what you think. So Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, Sancho. I should have added to the poll a little bit there and told you what this was all about. But players, I'm just going to have to talk you through it. I forgot to say what we was doing in the poll there. But them players, if we sold them this summer, how much do you reckon we could get for them players? Because they're players at Manchester United. I've definitely got an option. And there is 100% more than a 50% chance. 100% more than a 50%. So there's a very, very good chance, let's just say, that all of these players have got, or they're on the out list, and there's a big possibility that they're going to be leaving this summer. So I would say definitely, obviously, Wan-Bissaka and Lindelof. And the prices I've put up there right now, we've got 90 million, 120 million, 150 million, or more than 150 for them four players. I mean, Lindelof right now, get some prices in the chat as well for me, guys. For Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka, let's do it in twos. So the defensive side of things, Wan-Bissaka and Lindelof, how much can we raise for both of them players? That's what we need to figure out right now. I feel for both of them, there's definitely 40 million there for me. I think Wan-Bissaka carries a little bit more. I think you can definitely get 25-30 million for Wan-Bissaka. Surely we can scrape 25-30 million together for him. Then you're looking at Lindelof, 10-15 maybe. Someone going to pay that for him? Can we get that much money out of anyone for Lindelof? I don't rate him. You guys might rate him, but yeah. Everyone, let's just see what you're saying first of all. Wan-Bissaka is going nowhere. Kaiser, sorry, he is. We've been told that he is on the out list. He's not getting a new deal. The only reason we triggered the 1 year extension is because he's going in the summer. Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka, 45 million, 12 million for Lindelof, 20 million for Wan-Bissaka, says Ian, so 32. 25 each for Wan-Bissaka and Lindelof, 30 million for Lindelof, in my opinion. For both of them, Matt, that's not a lot. It's not a lot. So let's just say we get, for average, 40 million for Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka. For me, it's not fortunes, but it is a good chunk down. And like we said before, Manchester United have been looking to offload Wan-Bissaka as a mate weight in the Elise deal. So could we do that with another club for another player? We talked about Branthwaite the other day. We talked about other options as well, where we can actually use these players as part of a deal, not just trying to sell these players. So yeah, that's where we're at with Wan-Bissaka and Lindelof. Now, Jadon Sancho and Mason Greenwood. How much? Let's just do Mason Greenwood. How much would you sell Mason Greenwood for? Get your comments in the chat right now. What is he worth? Lilies United, Maguire, Lindelof, Sharp, Zaka, McTominay, Rashford, Sancho, 180. I know where you're going with it, Lilies, mate, but I just don't think there's a cat and nails chance. I really don't. Lindelof should go to AC Milan, 12 million, says Carl. I'm taking it into account how bad we are when selling players. We're getting bottom prices for all our players. Well, this is the first transfer window we're going to have with Ineos in charge. So this will probably be the biggest test for him. I will tell a lot of United fans how good Ineos are compared to what we had before. I think that's the key to all of this. 60 million for Greenwood, 50 to 60 for Greenwood, 50, 30 million for Greenwood. Well, I think you're all completely way off the mark, personally. I think United need to be getting between 80 and 100 million for Greenwood at his age, especially with the clubs that are interested in him. But let's not forget, we need to take 20% of that off for Getafe, who get a sell-on percentage for if Mason Greenwood is sold. That was part of their loan deal for taking him. So we had to bribe someone to actually take him in the first place. But now he's doing well. Everything's changed. Let's not forget, we've already turned down 40 million reportedly for Greenwood from Getafe, and that's a record bid for them. That's their highest bid ever made. Those are the reports coming out. So engage Getafe offering 40. What are the likes of a Barcelona or a Real Madrid going to spend if they want him? And if, in fact, Real Madrid go for a Mbappe, can you see Mason Greenwood going anywhere else? I don't personally think, with what Deco said the other day about Barcelona's finances, I don't think Barcelona are in a position where they can afford that type of player or that much for a player. I really don't. I just look at it and I go, Mason Greenwood needs to be going to Real Madrid. I think he's the only viable option for anyone who can afford a player like that. But if they buy Mbappe, then you can say goodbye to that deal. I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. So let's just see what happens with Mason Greenwood. But he's definitely got to be worth more than that. Otherwise, 25 for damaged goods, says Danny. This is a different crowd tonight. I will not sell Greenwood, but I will price him at 70 million. United can't sell players without making a big loss. We're not going to lose on Mason Greenwood. That's a guarantee, in it, because he's an academy player. And definitely helps us with financial fair play because it's 100% profit. UK Strange says 150 million minimum for Mason Greenwood. Graham, Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka start the final year of their contracts. The club will get 27 million maximum. That's very, very precise, Graham. Very precise. You've not even rounded it to 25 or 30. You've gone 27. He's definitely thinking there, Graham. He's got his brain switched on and he's trying to think the market, the values, ages, contracts, everything. But yes, I can understand where you're going from. I'm just wondering why he's so precise. Daniel James was the last player we made a profit from. Was Dan James the last one we made a profit on? Who else have we sold? Yeah, we really haven't sold anyone. I mean, you could say Dean Henderson, Anthony Elanga, 2 academy players again. We actually made 100% profit on. We definitely didn't make any money on Fred. I mean, Christ, that was a no-go. Won it straight away, that one. But yeah, I feel like you off your head, 70 million behave, 35 max. Ian, we've already turned down 40 from Getafe. That's what you need to realise. So that if that has happened, then we have to be asking more. And to be honest, if Real Madrid and Barcelona are that desperate for Mason Greenwood, then we need to be taking advantage of that situation. Definitely need to be taking advantage of that situation. Why people talking Frankie de Jong? I don't know who's talking Frankie de Jong. I don't know. But just to recap, anyone who is tuning in on what the top news was on tonight's show, is that Martial's agent has come out defending him and going completely against what the club had come out and said. Well, Eric Ten Hag has said in press conferences that Anthony Martial has been ill and now he's injured. He's trying to get his fitness back. His agent has just come out this evening and said it's all lies. Anthony Martial has had a hip injury in his abductor area and needs surgery. It's an injury that he could have had surgery on a long time ago or needed a long time ago. So this kind of is a bit of a to and fro with the club and Anthony Martial and his representatives now. That for me was throwing United under the bus from Anthony Martial and his reps. That's what that was to me. So I look at it and I go, it's on, basically. It is on between Martial and Manchester United, but does it really matter? He's finished in 6 months and no one's going to care because he would have left the club. And he was always going to leave the club for nothing. That song that we had for Martial, 50 million down the drain. Tony Martial scores again. 50 million down the drain. And Tony Martial lets us down yet again. So that's, I think, they were true, weren't they? The English press said he had no chance. Well, he did at the start, but it has come true now, and Martial is going to leave Manchester United under the biggest cloud ever, it would seem, at loggerhorns with the football club, and everything about that statement that's come out from his agent is he's basically having a go at Manchester United. That's where it is, that's what it's at, and there's no way around it. There's no way around it. We are just going to have to deal with him for a few more months, sat there on his $250,000 a week, on that rehab table, on that surgery table, recovering, and I'm sure the Martial FC crew will be backing him up and saying he's never had an opportunity. Well, I think he has had plenty and he's just not shown enough, and he's a demic. So yes, that's it. Based on Martial's rubbish season, I believe the team yeah, Lilies, people need to understand De Jong always said, I don't want to leave Barca, so don't waste your time on him. No, why are people talking about De Jong? Get off De Jong. That is long gone. That was when United were absolutely desperate, and why we bought Casemiro. Darren says it'll be interesting to see if one of the big clubs come in for him. Who, Martial or Greenwood? I hope you're talking Greenwood. I think that was a joke if you were talking Martial. But yeah, it's got to be Greenwood you're talking about there. It'd be interesting to see when the big clubs comes into him. If it's a club like Getafe, then we ain't going to get a huge fee. No, that's exactly what I said. It is Greenwood you're talking about, Darren. Thank God. So, yeah, when you're looking at Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, teams like this, when they come in for your players, you can obviously demand a higher fee. I think the smaller clubs, Manchester United, won't stand a chance. So we just got to pray that all of our loanees actually do well. So we're in a situation where we can actually fetch decent amounts of money and they can go into the coffers. I'm going to stick to my guns and say I think Mason Greenwood will be playing in a Manchester United shirt come the start of next season. I really do. I really do. Let's get into the poll and see what you guys think. The 4 main obviouses that are going to be going this summer, or I've got at least a 50% chance of going: Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, Jadon Sancho, Mason Greenwood. How much for them? That is the poll. 90 million, 120, 150 or more. Interesting to see that 8% of the crowd tonight actually think that we will get more than 150 for all 4 of them. I think that's in the balance of Mason Greenwood more than anything and what the club do there. 13% are saying 150. 120 million, 44% are saying. I think that's probably where I would have it. I think that's a realistic one. Just going off what we can get off anyone for Greenwood and how much money's in the world of football right now. And then, obviously, the 20% that goes to Getafe as well in that. So, yeah, I feel like it is going to be a extremely difficult summer for Manchester United. And they have a lot of work to do very quickly. And all eyes on Ineos, really. Can you make the most out of it? Can you actually make United look capable in a transfer window? That's the big question. That is the big question. But yeah, if you didn't watch earlier on today, make sure you do drop down onto the channel and watch the video from this morning with Jamie Jackson, where we got into what was being talked about in Old Trafford with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, his plans, what he thought of what was going on with the Qatari bid and everything there. So yeah, do check that video out. Let me know what you think. And it was intriguing to think how someone who follows the club but doesn't support the club can see it and how they look at it. And I think that's what came out of that video more than anything. So yeah, I feel like that is something you need to watch, especially with what he feels Sir Jim Ratcliffe's approach, even with the possibility that the Glazers can pull the plug and sell the club in 18 months. his opinion on that. That was very interesting as well. But yes, that pretty much is everything for tonight's show, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow morning. There are going to be some extra bits of content as well. Make sure you get involved in the conversations on the YouTube shorts that are going up also, guys. There is plenty on them, and I'm looking for your comments on them to bring in as content as well. And make sure you comment on this video tonight. Let me know about Martial. Let me know what you think. Who are you going with? The representatives of Martial or Manchester United? I mean, your options are not great there, are they? They're really not. But guys, thank you for all of your comments. Thank you for all the likes and the shares and super chats as well. That is us done for this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. We will be back tomorrow. Until then, have a great evening, and I will see you then.